What's up, Planeswalkers? This is Eric, and what we're doing now is an art critique, which I'd like to do every week. I'd like to feature a couple of pieces, one that I think is good, and one that I think isn't good. I don't have any plan for what sets I'm going with yet. I'm kind of thinking we're going to start with the current sets and then go backwards in time weekly, or maybe even more often if I get the knack. So this week we're gonna start with the negative critique. All right. So I think these two cards are probably good. I really like how they work, synergize. And I say cards because there's two cards, but only because they're partners. All right. So there's a hint. There's some of the new partner cards, and they're partnered with each other. So they have to critique both of them. And one of them is good and the other one's not. And so, again, I like what the cards do. The casting costs are fine. They are Will and Rowan Kenrith. Okay, so here they are. And we start with the one that's this decent, right? Rowan. I like the art. We got powerful woman. And she has good abilities, but, again, sorry for the quality of my camera. You can look at the card, you can look up the card online. You're not going to see the best detail in the artwork here on the cards themselves because they're printed so small. And I don't have good video editing software. Anyhow, here's Rowan Kenrith. And I think she's done really well. Her pose is cool. She's got the power from her hand. And I like her attire all right. She could have had definitely some more dynamic clothing going on. But I think her weapon's cool. Overall, I think the artwork here is good. Looking into the bottom, which you normally don't notice, nothing much going on there. But here's where the negative critique comes in. Alright. Will Kenrith. Okay. This artwork stinks, man. This guy looks like a pansy, and it really plays on the whole brother-sister thing, which is just really sappy and corny, I'm sorry to say, I believe she's older than he is, and, coming from a family where my sister is older than I am, I'll tell you, we don't have this whole, oh, I'm listening to my older sister. I guess if I, did, I might look like a little pansy like Will does here, because, this doesn't look like a strong man, sure, the wizardly stuff is cool, but the artwork just looks like the face of a mannequin, a statue. The hair is just pulled back, and, this was art done, by the way, by Anna Steinbauer. Overall, I think she's a good artist, obviously better than me. I'm just doing a critique here. But, when it comes to capturing the male figure, I think it's something she's really lacking on and could really work on. And, that's, and that's not something that's terrible to say of artists. It's really hard to capture the figure of the opposite sex. Men are used to drawing men, women are used to drawing women. It's just something that we're more connected with because we are that sex, But it's obviously something all artists need to overcome, learning how to draw the human figure. And, Will Kenrith, not only is the face not good, but also, the pose is exactly the same as Rowan. And, are almost the same. And I know they're back to back, but it could be cool if they had something just a bit more dynamic going on. They're both just kind of standing there. There's nothing exciting about these planeswalkers. And, they do have powerful abilities. They each have powerful abilities, but do you hear anyone tripping out about these? No, and it's largely because of the artwork. And so I think it's up to Wizards to, also be critiquing these and say, all right, here we got a powerful card. We want people to spend good money on it, Is it going to have good artwork? And you need to be willing to send stuff back to people and say, what, do this again. This doesn't look good. And so I think it's about time that we as the players stand up and, voice out when we think, look at this. This kind of ruins, I would totally make these guys my commander if the artwork was cooler. But the artwork is so bad for Will that I cannot bring myself to build this deck, which is why I actually built the Nicol Bolas deck instead, because I was happy with it. And speaking of which, the next piece of artwork is Nicol Bolas, which I happen to have the mat for, so I'm just going to show you the mat. Ooh, Nicol Bolas the Ravager. Alright, so this is the good critique I'm doing. I think it's good. Though we'll start with maybe a little negative, is kind of the pose is a bit awkward. You know, like what's going on? And, you know, it's really hard to capture dragons. If you ever watch shows like Ink Master, you know, you hear them tear up dragon artwork all the time. Like, what's going on? You know, people think of dragons in all kinds of different ways, but they make impossible poses. And the other thing is dragons have a long tradition of being drawn. So, you know, you might think you're making up a mystical creature, but there is a whole world of, you know, technicality that people will look at and compare your artwork to. So you got to be careful when drawing dragons. But this is really good. The color is just phenomenal. You know, that flame is popping right off the page. You know, the vortex draws our eye right to it. The background is just this really, you know, mystical, awesome looking plane, you know, with the river going through it and the mountains and waterfall in the background. I mean, come on, that's, you know, paradise looking. And, you know, getting over here, sorry, the glare is coming through, but there's not a lot going on that side of the map. I want you to see it all. But yeah, the thing that's wrong with the posture for me is the whole, you know, the twist. And I looked at it for a while, and overall, I think it's good because it's sort of this mid-flight, you know, mid-flapping the wings sort of twist going on. So he's coming up at the angle that you see his back legs at, you know, and then he's turning at the other angle, you know, but as he's turning, he's doing like a little twist in the air because, you know, dragons are these magical, awesome flyers, you know, so we can give a little, you know, suspended disbelief, you know, that maybe he's also being propelled kind of by magic and he's, you know, doing some sort of like, you know, 180 loop-de-loop, whatever in the air. But overall, I think this artwork is just awesome. I had to buy this mat because, of course, I made the deck, you know, and I like the whole, you know, inside of his face all glowing up to give you the power of the fire, you know. So here's an example of good artwork, and sometimes that does make the difference. I know in my last video I talked about how, you know, don't build a flavor deck, right? Don't build a deck just because the artwork's cool or just because, you know, there's text from a certain character, you know, is the Bolas deck, and everyone wanted to build the Bolas deck using, you know, all the Bolas cards, and they wanted to use everything that ever had to do with Bolas, you know, put that in the deck. And I was like, no, you know, build a deck that works good. And, you know, maybe for the last deck that I built, I was considering, you know, I had to do something blue-red, and I ended up going with Bolas, but I originally wanted to do these guys. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring out, you know, the cream puff commander. You know, it's like I almost don't even want to play this card in the deck just because every time I look at it, I'm like, what a wimp, you know, what a wuss. But, you know, Rowan, she looks cool. Like, I might, like, just put her in a deck. I mean, that, like, looks menacing, you know, all red, and, you know, but when you got the blue Planeswalker, for future reference, Wizards, I think when you got the blue, you got to make up for the, you know, the blue background, you know, which softened things up. It already is soft with just this whole blue appeal, you know, by making it mystical, like Jace. You know, Jace has the hood, you know, he's got the glowing eye, and he's all menacing and cool, you know, and this guy, you know, he's just not doing it for me. So that's it for today, Planeswalkers. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the comment section. Like the video, please. Hit the bell. Just starting out this page, so all the support I can get would be really appreciated. So hope you're doing good. I'll talk to you next time.